Hello and welcome to another episode of Dick Small Engines. Now in this episode we're going to have a little look at this product here. Let's get you out of the way of the lights. EVAPO-RUST super fast rust remover, and we're going to be using that on, if you remember I showed you in a previous video, the fuel tank off of the Merry Tiller Cadet. I've got the endoscope in there, we had a little look, there was a lot of rust and debris build up. So we're going to drop a bit of this EVAPO-RUST product in said tank and see the results. So I'll see you in a sec. Right, we are in the dark, yes, but that's for good reason. So for those of you who didn't see the previous video of how rust riddled and full of debris and corrosion that this Merry Tiller Cadet tank was, I've now got my endoscope out, and we're going to have a little butcher's exactly how rust riddled and full of debris, and you can see there it's heavily laden in rust and debris and corrosion. Try and work my way around a bit, but you get the idea that it's heavily riddled in rust. Right, before I lamp this product in to the fuel tank in question, I'm just going to give you a quick debrief on what it suggests regarding smaller fuel tank derusting. And it states completely filled fuel tank with EVAPO-RUST and allowed to sit for 2 to 4 hours. I'm not, because you've seen the state of that tank. I'm going to let it sit for 12, possibly 24 hours. Drain completely and rinse away with water. Air dry and fill with fuel immediately to eliminate flash rust. Well, I have done previously, used my heat gun for that procedure. Obviously, because flash rusting, if you do leave it and it's not dry and filled with fuel, you will get flash rust, obviously, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So let's crack this open, get myself a little funnel. Tank sitting in the vice nice and sturdy. Get the product in there. I'm not sure if it's going to take the whole, it's a 1 litre container, yeah, it will take the whole container. It's not quite full to the brim, but we've got the whole full 1 litre of the EVAPO-RUST product in there. Let's get all out the funnel. So what we're going to do now, I can see that sitting there now, it's probably about 3/4 of the way full. So what I'm going to do now, put the cap on the fuel tank like so, because I want to let all that product sit in there. I'm not sure if that cap's on. Yes, it is. And I'll plug both the wells just so it can sit and ferment, and we don't lose any of the potent vapours from there. So next time we see this, we'll come back to it tomorrow or 12, 24 hours later, which will be tomorrow. Yes, Dick, you will. And we'll have a look, and we'll see how the product works. Right, it's approximately 24 hours now since the EVAPO-RUST product has been sitting in the tank. So we're going to empty the contents of the tank now, and we'll see exactly how well this product has worked. Right, so I've just got the tank out the vice, just cracking the fuel cap off. And now we're going to empty the contents of the tank with the EVAPO-RUST product in. Into this old pop bottle. Oh, it looks a lovely colour. That's it all in there. It's a nice potent smell coming from it as well. Let's put that back in the vice, ready to have a butcher's with the endoscope. Right. There's a nice pungent smell coming from there. To be fair, in terms of sediment, there's not a great deal. It's a bit of an off. What colour would I describe it as? Bit of a dark orange colour perhaps. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's have a look in this tank. I'll get the endoscope in there. Where's the endoscope? Here it is. I've had a brief look then. There is a remarkable improvement, but I'll just show you. Oh, before I do that, the reason I bottled this up is because this product can be reused. Doesn't actually specify how many times or the lifespan, but I will be reusing that again, hence why it's been bottled up. Right, let's have a look in this tank. Still is, I'm not sure how I can say that, but there still is a fair amount of rust. I mean, this tank was heavily rusted, so it's probably not a fair doing it justice, sorry. Let me knock some lights off so we can get a better understanding of the situation. I mean, I can see it very well, but I'm just trying to give you a fairer understanding of how well the products worked in comparison to I'm not sure if you're getting I'm doing it justice here. You can still see there is a bit of rust in there, but it's far better than what it was. I mean, I think this tank was, like I say, heavily corroded and rusted up, and perhaps this isn't doing it the justice off of this endoscope viewing that it deserves. So I'll get in there with without the endoscope, and we can see if we can have a further look. Right, so this is probably a better indication without the endoscope of the current status of the tank following the EVAPO-RUST product being sitting in there. If you do recall, I only had the 1 litre of EVAPO-RUST, and it didn't quite fill the tank. So let me just show you. Let me get a little screwdriver up so let's point this out. If you can see, let's have a look. About here, you can see where it becomes darker, the sediment on the side of the tank. That's probably where, about there, where the tip of that flathead is, where the EVAPO-RUST product was sitting, the 1 litre of it. Didn't quite fill the tank, as I mentioned. So you can see there where that tip of the flathead is, where the product wasn't. Beyond that, beneath that, you can see where the product was sitting. So it gives you an idea of how well the products worked. Granted, again, like I said, this tank was heavily rusted up, but you can see the difference from, as I just mentioned, above that litre of the product and beneath it. I mean, it probably could do with sitting for a lot longer. Equally, I might eat it as well, because I'm, again, with a bit of carb spray as well. But as far as the product goes, am I a fan? Am I impressed the first time I've used it? I'm going to say yes. Decent product. I've used other products before, but this is decent. Would I recommend it? Yes. Is this the best example and doing it justice? Arguably, well, no. But you can see, as I've just pointed out again, it has, from the top end of that tank to the bottom end, you can see the product has worked. So Dixon Oil Engines is impressed in that respect. The tank itself needs a lot more work. The machine off of where this tank has come off of needs a lot more work. So that'll be coming up in future content. So until the next one, take care, ta-ra for now.